Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to the Fanatic Forum. I'm your fanatic and host, George Bueller. Hope you guys have had yourselves a wonderful week out there. It's been a very rainy, nasty, stormy week in the Elizabethtown, Kentucky area, all that kind of good stuff here. And definitely someone who's seen a little bit of stormy weather here in his neck of the woods here. My junior fanatic, my brother from another weather here, Mr. Seth Manhammer. Good to see you, sir.
What's up, sir? Good to see you. Good to be back again. Sorry, I've been AWOL for a couple of weeks.
Oh,
Uh,
got to make that paper, and then of course,
yeah, but yeah, back here again, making that money. Yeah, no, but you're talking about it being rainy. I was thinking earlier today, it felt like you remember that Rutger Hauer movie, Split Second, where he's
dude,
like,
I watched that last night.
no shit.
No shit, I watched it last night.
Yeah, yeah, but no, that movie, like, it's awesome. Like the premise of the movie is awesome to begin with. Like Rutger Hauer's like a cop in London? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I can't. I was gonna say I can't remember if it's London or Scotland, but
yeah, it's
yeah,
London.
and
Yeah,
yeah, and like there's an alien serial killer that's going around, and he's got to
mm-hmm.
find it. But like the whole time, like London's flooding the
Yeah,
entire time. Like there's just this perpetual downpour that
yeah.
is always happening. So it's like that's just this little extra layer of ambiance.
And also, you're constantly being plagued by giant rats, which are everywhere because of said water and flooding, because they've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And also, there's a lot of either people driving in jeeps or hovercrafts.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, vehicles that can easily traverse like shallow bodies of water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it is a favorite. It's got a lot of great style to it, and it's
Oh yeah,
fun. It's a fun creature feature, and come on, Wrecker Hour. So
yeah. That move. I love that one. And what's the? There's the one where it's the high school in the future that's in the bad part of town that robots. They replace some of the teachers with robots.
is that Class of 1984?
Uh, no, Class of 1999.
Oh, the sequel. Yes, yeah, the
Yeah,
sequel.
yeah. Yeah, and like Malcolm McDowell's in it, and Pam
Mm-hmm.
Greer's one of the teachers, and
Yep.
yeah, and then like the delinquent kids have to fight the robot teachers. And that, oh yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
was that and Split Second were like two of those like late night Showtime offerings. What's
Oh,
up,
those were
V? How
great.
you doing?
Mr. V, good to see you, brother. He said that he was waiting for Seth pop-up windows, is worried that he was still AWOL.
No, sir, no, I am finally here. I was actually thinking earlier today, like today I finished up all of the work that I was having to do for overtime. So I
Nice.
got to cut out a little early even, and I was looking forward to coming and doing the show tonight. So
Hell yeah, man. Oh, well, see, of course, last week on the show, we had Jeff Meineke on talk about his book, The Crag, and then other stuff we were talking about. Of course, we were talking, I was watching your all's show last night, Smokes and Road Beers. You all talked about the Avengers Doomsday in production trailer with the 27
yes,
chairs.
holy
And
crap, that was awesome because it was just there's one point in that where it's just like
it's like,
yeah.
what? Yeah, but as I said last week, the fact that Alan Cumming is returning to the role of Nightcrawler, this is the universe beginning to write itself, and it starts here. Yeah, that is just correct. That is right. Everybody is jazzed. I mean, that was the one like. Not that Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart returning, and even James Marsden and no, Alan freaking Cumming is
I
coming
mean,
back as Nightcrawler.
look, Rebecca Romaine coming back as Mystique. That ain't nothing to sneeze at.
No, it's
You
not.
know.
Nothing of that. But then kind of like we got Alan for one movie, and his performance was amazing. It was one of the best parts of X-Men 2, and we never got it again. And we've been cheated ever since.
Yeah. Wasn't Nightcrawler in one of the First Class movies or?
Yeah, that was Cody Smith McPhee who played him.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
different.
once I gave those First Class movies a chance, they weren't bad. They just weren't as good
Yeah,
as the mainline X-Men
yeah.
movies, I feel.
And yeah, it kind of got worse. Like the first couple were decent, but then like the Days of Future Past, the director's cut is better than the theatrical cuts.
Mhm.
And then Apocalypse is a mess.
Yeah, I never actually watched Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix, I don't think.
Dark Phoenix isn't bad, but it's kind of like they're telling we still haven't got a proper telling of the Phoenix saga because
Yeah.
she gets the Phoenix somewhat in the way that actually no, I take it back. No, the Phoenix was like always inside her. It wasn't like she received the spirit coming into her. Like
Yeah.
always, her powers just going crazy. And you take all the Shi'ar and the space stuff out of the story. So basically, leave the Dark Phoenix story completely on Earth, just the X-Men. That's the Phoenix movie.
Yeah.
So take that as you will. The performances aren't bad. I mean, was it Sophie Turner playing Jean Grey? She does a good job, but it's like if you know the Phoenix Saga story really well, they're still telling half the story.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
and see the Phoenix Saga to me, like I understand its place in like, comic book history and lore. It
yeah,
was never one of those stories that got me, that
yeah.
like it was like, yeah, I never got the appeal of the Phoenix Saga personally, but
I mean, it was a big deal just because we were losing a major character after having this big power surge and changing stuff like that. So yeah, I could see it was a big deal at the time. It's still a good bit of storytelling. It's one of Chris Claremont's better pieces of his X-Men run. So yeah, but it's also you've got to be an X-Men fan too. I think and you're more of a PC guy. So yeah,
hey, no, I do love me some X-Men. I think Age of
well, sure.
Apocalypse is one of the best crossovers of all time.
Oh yeah,
And I'm all about the Byrne and Claremont run outside of the Phoenix Saga, but yeah.
yeah. But I mean, it's definitely very heavy on Jean Grey, so that's for sure. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
you can't please everybody.
And see,
And
whenever people come at me and say that I'm biased towards ginger comic book characters, I can always be like, yeah, I just don't like Jean Grey that much. She's a ginger comic book character.
there you go.
Yeah.
See,
Mm.
there you go. See, yeah.
Fight me.
Take that. Take that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing you guys talked about on the show. I'm going to plug Smokes and Road Beers because I'm going to plug my boy. So there you go.
Well, thank you.
Well, plug his show, not plug.
Oh yeah, phrasing.
Yeah, phrasing. Yeah. Anyway, plug the show. Thank you, Archer. Anyway, you guys were talking about the Naked Gun trailer that dropped yesterday.
Yes. Oh gosh, that thing.
I was very kind of almost against the idea because I'm such a huge Leslie Nielsen and the internet phrasing. Be careful.
Be careful. Yeah.
We're gonna attract a whole new audience.
Yeah. Oh man. We'll get turned into fetish content.
Furries, here we come. All right. Anyway, but yeah, I was against the idea because I'm like, man, the whole thing with the Naked Gun is like Leslie Nielsen started as a leading man character actor kind of guy like that, and then later in his career made the sudden transition to comedy with Airplane, and it worked. And so he's like, oh, Second Life, and then he kept doing that. Liam Neeson, I mean, he's done a couple of like he did the one scene in Ted 2 where he's buying the tricks. And then he's been on Saturday Night Live, but like he's not been known as a comedy guy. But then seeing this trailer, I'm like, okay, he's playing it 100% straight, badass, but he's the most ridiculous thing in the movie because of that. It's like,
well,
okay.
But I feel like you're leaving one part out with the original Leslie Nielsen casting in Airplane was that the whole point with the Zuckers was that they had intentionally cast serious actors,
Right?
Because they wanted that if they cast serious actors delivering the dialogue, then the dialogue had to be funny. They couldn't worry about the comedian delivery. And Leslie Nielsen just became so damn good at the deadpan delivery with some of his dialogue that we got.
Well, basically, with like the three kind of the lead actors, your Peter Graves, Robert Stack, and Leslie Nielsen. Like Leslie Nielsen got the joke, ran with it, scored a touchdown, got the MVP. Robert Stack got the joke, had fun with it, but like, okay, that was cool. Peter Graves did not get the joke, didn't appreciate the movie or anything. Peter Graves didn't get it at all and was wondering why people thought the movie was so funny.
Oh yeah, he was also the guy that was that originally didn't want to do it because like it would ruin his airplane or his airport franchise money. Yeah. Because airport, it was like Airport 71 through 77 or some shit.
Yeah.
Like these big airport disaster movies.
And then basically all they had to do, because like you had to think it was like the original airport, and then you had Airport 75, and you had Airport 77. Yeah, but so all you had to do was just tack the year on the end of it. It's like, it's
Yeah,
another.
then Die Hard 2, and then I mean, it might as well be an airport movie, you know.
I mean, it is. Yeah, it's an area. Yeah, so yeah. Oh God, but yeah, I was always loved the history of the airplane. It's like, Stack got the joke. It's like, that was fun. I'll go back to do, I'm gonna go do unsolved mysteries. I'm deuces.
Yeah,
But Leslie's like, Second Life, let's go, baby.
Yeah, but talking about the trailer too. Oh, and especially the dude playing I forgot his name, but the guy that plays the partner.
Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, Paul Walter Hauser. Thank you. Yeah, dude, have you ever watched that Apple TV series that he's in? I think it's Blackbird.
I have not. No, I don't have Apple, so I miss pretty much everything that's on there right now.
Every once in a while they'll run like a 3-month promo. Like grab it for it, like or a 3-month for free deal. Grab it because they've got some killer shows with Severance and Silo and shit. But
I've heard Foundation was also good too. I heard.
Yeah, Foundation was good, but no, he is in Blackbird and he plays a serial killer. And yeah, and it's just kind of like, okay, he's like kind of creepy and almost very Paul Bearer-ish, in the way that he plays it. Yeah, it's creepy. Yeah, and it's based on a true story too. Oh yeah, Cody Rhodes is in Naked Gun too. Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And also, Pam Anderson plays the romantic lead in the movie. I think actually we saw her in the trailer because, of course, now she's not doing the glam thing like she used to do back in the day.
Right.
She's, and so I think the woman that we saw, the blonde woman we saw in the trailer, says, "Who are you?" when he's in the bank, and he says, "Frank Drebin, Police Squad." Yeah. So I think that was her.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely Cody Rhodes is supposed to have a part in the movie. I don't know what part.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who or what he's playing, but no, I love it. Cody's going to be in it.
Yeah, but I love, of course, we get Paul Walter Hauser is going to be the son of George Kennedy, who was Ed Harkin, yeah. And then, of course, the kid who is Nordberg's son. Yeah. I was that last part of the trailer where you got all these cops are kneeling down and paying homage to all their
Dad, I hope you're proud of me. Yeah.
I love you. And then we see the kid standing for Nordberg's picture, and it's O.J. Simpson. He's just like,
he's like, nah.
Yeah. Like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was. Yeah. That's a ballsy joke for a trailer too.
But it's literally the one joke they cannot avoid.
Yeah.
They did 3 Naked Gun movies and OJ was in all of them.
Every single one of them. Yeah.
It's like, and he was like the goofy, dumb, but the guy doing all the physical comedy and things would happen to him. But it's like, nonetheless, it's like OJ's in all your movies, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that though. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Just a show note here real quick, guys. We will not have a podcast next week because I am going to be in Chicago for C2E2. And I'm just going to be there on the Friday nights for a very special reason. We've announced this already on social media, but the podcast network that I'm with does the Multiverse fundraiser every year. We do, of course, charity work there. Of course, this year we got to interview John Cosper and Dean Hill, which that was awesome. Mm-hmm. But for our charity work for the podcast, we are getting a second award, second year in a row, from Comic Books for Kids. And so we're getting presented with the award at C2E2. So, yeah, it'll be a nice audience of people. I'm not sure what else is going to be going on for this thing, but yeah, so I'm going to be on stage with the other network hosts who are going to be in present. I know it's going to be myself and Kelly Gettner, who does Cosplay Cafe and the Gilmore Girls podcast that we have as well. Of course, she's one of the network heads. So yeah, I'm close enough to Chicago. I was like, I can go, and I'm getting in free. So there you are.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm just going to be there for the one night, and sometime Saturday before I go home, I will be searching for Big Al's Italian beef, and get me a double dip with a giardiniera on it, and yeah, give me a nice Italian beef sandwich. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Okay.
So
well, I'm personally staying the hell away from Chicago because that's where the ex-wife is. Last I heard. So,
oh, really?
No. Yeah. So, yeah. No. Yeah. Have fun there.
Yeah. Oh, well, if I run into her, I'll punch her in the face for you.
Appreciate that, brother.
hey, she's my cousin. I can do that. It's legal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So they can't prosecute that. So there you go. See, that's what we always joke around. It's like, Seth was married at one point to my cousin, so therefore Seth and I were actually related, by marriage. But then when they got divorced, the family kept Seth. We got rid we got rid of the wife, who we won't mention her name, but yeah, but
that's true. That's really true.
Yeah, we kept Seth, and he says, "Yeah, catch the last I heard."
Yeah,
and last we heard was literally like what, 5-6 years ago. I mean, it's been a long time.
I think longer than that now. I think it's probably going on a decade.
Whenever Mom passed away, so that's last time. Yeah. But anywho, this is taking an odd turn.
yeah, it really has. Like, we digress.
A glimpse into the real world of the Fanatic here. Okay, yeah, we're gonna start a new trend here. I know. So they're going to want to know. Ask the Fanatic. We're going to start getting some real questions and stuff like
that.
Right. Yeah. All right. Anyway, we're going to get to our new comic reviews here. Enough of this Michigas. All right. So I've got one Marvel, a DC, and a couple of indies here. Basically, the indies are very related here. But
and the DC's a Batman, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh.
It is not a Batman.
Okay. Yeah, I'll shut my big stupid mouth then.
Though we may get a Batman. Well, we won't have a show next week. I was like, but there is an absolute Batman coming out next week. So, but I know in 2 weeks there may be a Batman book. So, and see, V says he gets the same.
Yeah.
See, that's the running joke here. Is that usually a DC pick, there's got to be a Batman book there somewhere. A, I'm a big Batman fan, but B, DC releases like 87 Batman books a month. So
there's not a week that goes by that DC does not release a Batman book. Now, George doesn't always pick them up, but yeah, it doesn't stop DC from publishing one.
Very true. Very true. This week we had another facsimile because since we've got the sequel to Hush going on, they're reprinting all the original Hush. So we had a facsimile of the Batman book this week. So yeah.
So hold up, are they releasing facsimiles of all 12 issues of?
They just did it with basically because Marvel was re-releasing Secret Wars, the original 80s Secret Wars. DC released all 12 issues of Crisis on Infinite Earths. So they just finished that up, and now they're releasing facsimiles of Hush.
Oh.
Yep.
Are we getting a little oversaturated with facsimiles, or I guess not if they're still doing them.
I mean, but I for every reprinting of this series, they still like DC. The one leg up they have that Marvel has not done yet is DC's doing a lot more Golden Age facsimiles, and finally they are doing complete facsimiles. So like when they reprinted Detective Comics, sure, there's the Batman story that's in there that everybody wants, but there's also the other stories that aren't Batman stuff. Or when they release Police Comics #1, the first appearance of Plastic Man, there's the Plastic Man story, and there's also like 4 other cop stories in that book. So that's the cool thing that DC is starting to do Golden Age stuff, and they reprint them in full, so you really get to see a nice taste of what books were like in the 40s, because there were a lot more anthology books than you had your single story heroes. That basically, because Superman was so huge, he was the first one to kind of get his own single story. But 9 out of 10 times, the books that were coming out were anthology books.
Yeah, well, even Superman #1 in and of itself is not just one Superman story. That's like 3
That,
Superman stories in that one issue. Yeah,
that is correct. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
So that's the thing. I was just that was tradition of the shorter form stories. It really wasn't until like late golden age going into the silver age where we started having longer form stories that just took up one issue. So
yeah. That
yeah.
just drives me wild about the prevalence of the facsimile issues. Like, I didn't know it was that to the point where we're reprinting miniseries that are easily available in trade paperback,
Hmm.
cheaper, like cheaper actually.
Yeah.
It's weird that you're paying to have the ads, basically,
It
right?
really is.
Like,
Or well, of course, they have foil facsimiles, and then they also will sometimes do a variant cover. And so sometimes, depending on who's doing the variant, that may be more appealing. Like, hey, let's do a Secret Wars reprint of the first issue, but it's an Alex Ross cover. Ooh,
yeah,
okay, I'm in on that. So there's sometimes they give you a reason to care.
yeah,
But also, it's also great for younger readers or newer readers who want to read these important issues, but they don't want to spend the hundreds or the thousands of dollars to have the original thing, but they can spend $4 or $5 on a facsimile.
yeah. Now, I
No.
do like it though that they kept the ads in some of the cases though, because those were fun.
Yeah,
Like looking to like see like the little cat, like all the weird crap that you could order. You
yeah.
know, and yeah, it was. I
Did you
never
see
got
like
anything. I was just always wanted to though.
Do I always loved the Marvel, like the mid to late '70s, going into the '80s era, like the Heroes World stuff, and all the cheap
Yeah,
toys, like oh your Spider-Man glider, or here's your your Batman and Spider-Man utility belts and stuff like that. I mean that was all the same company. All it was just cheap garbage, but it
yeah,
was still cool. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that it was $5 and it cost $2 to make. It's like yeah,
yeah.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
And then
All
those
right.
old like, so oh no, sorry,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and then those old comic book like advertisements for like mail order things, where
Mm-hmm.
like you were looking and it was like Hulk 181 $5, and it's like ridiculously cheap comics compared to like now, and it's like, man, if only I knew then, you
Dude,
know.
I've got a couple of those Heroes World catalogs because somebody had a collection and like there were 5 of them in there, so I took 2 of the nicer ones. So yeah, like you get all these toys after toys and ads for comics and ads to be able to buy comics from different places or buy them straight from Marvel. But then like the whole catalog is drawn and animated, and it's like here's a Joe Kubert page, here's some Jack Kirby pages, here's some John Romita pages, here's some Joe Sinnott pages, stuff like that. It's a freaking catalog.
Yeah.
Like, God, this is glorious. Oh, anyway, on to the new stuff here.
Yes. Sorry.
Good. I don't know. See, this is the glory of the Fanatic Forum. We get off on our tangents and talk about random things
That
here.
is true. That is true.
Yeah.
20 minutes in, we get to the reviews finally. Yeah.
There we go. And then maybe another 30 minutes in, we'll get to our actual topic.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Anyway, our one Marvel selection this week here. Charles Soule returning to the world of Daredevil for a 3-issue miniseries called Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. This is essentially an old man Logan kind of story here, but in this case, it's old man Murdoch.
Okay.
Told in the far future, Matt Murdock is no longer a superhero, and for some reason, he has lost his powers. We haven't quite found out why yet, but we're dealing with a little bit more of a militaristic America that we're living in here. But there are some, like, I guess, terrorists and other criminals causing problems. Well, apparently there's somebody who dropped off a dirty bomb that released this radioactive gas that you see behind you. He didn't just eat a Taco Bell. That's bad gas back there. Well, said gas gives Matt his powers back. And so then now he's essentially trying to deal with the issues going on in this world here. There is a criminal organization that kind of runs everything, as we find out. And that organization is run by none other than a very elderly Bullseye.
Oh.
And Bullseye has a very special prisoner in his dungeon, which is Frank Castle. But Frank Castle is now a quadriplegic. So Bullseye removed his arms and legs and basically got him dangling on a wall.
Oh,
That, keep,
damn.
but keeps him alive so he can essentially can taunt him and talk trash and whatever else.
Torture him, yeah.
Yeah. We also get a Captain America appearance in here as well. So we get a few other superheroes and villains there. But yeah, just the storyline, the premise is really cool. Steve McNiven does the main art in the story. So this is a powerhouse team. And like I said, I'm sad it's only going to be 3 issues.
That sounds awesome.
But this is kind of one of those, like, this feels like it's going to be a classic Daredevil story, and we're already getting that feeling in the first issue.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm in. So it's good stuff. Our one DC selection this week. So we've had a whole new wave of the Absolute run. We have the original run was Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, and then now we've had Flash, Martian Manhunter, and lastly, Absolute Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
So it is written by Al Ewing with art by Jahoy Lindsay, which I love Jahoy's work. He is outstanding. And this is a really, really different take on the Green Lantern. Basically, this is the Green Lantern if it was a horror story. So in the first issue, we are introduced to Hal Jordan. We are introduced to John Stewart, who is down right here in the bottom, the gentleman in the glasses, which my hand is covering. There we go, right there. And in the center, there's Joe Mullen. Now, Joe's fairly new on the scene as the Lanterns go. Like, she's like less than 10 years old, so she's a fairly new character. But she premiered in the Green Lantern Far Sector miniseries, and then has been incorporated into the regular comics. But she's very much kind of like John. She's a cop. And just a really cool, tough as nails kind of lady, don't take no garbage kind of stuff like that. This has a extremely different take on Hal Jordan and kind of sets us up for, like I said, there's going to be some good stuff, there's going to be some bad stuff, but it looks like Hal may be bringing the bad, and Joe will be our hero in this series. Now, we don't get to see much from Joe. In recent issues of DC Comics, we've been getting previews of some of the Absolute stuff. In the preview for Green Lantern, we see a scene of Joe Mullen interacting, because basically in the town of Coast City, a giant lantern symbol falls like in the middle of town. So like this thing's like 50 feet tall, so many feet wide, but like this, like it looks like a giant symbol of the Green Lantern just like lands in the middle of town. So it kills people, disaster, all that kind of stuff like that.
Right.
Hal touches this thing, he has an interaction with it. Joe touches it, she has an interaction with it. But what we've seen in the previews, I think, may be in the second issue, because Joe's interaction is not in this first issue. This is more about Hal. But yeah. I don't want to spoil too terribly much of this one here, but I was very excited about the Absolute Martian Manhunter, and that paid off, because that was I've never been so excited about a Martian Manhunter book, and it paid off. It's awesome. It's very psychedelic art. It's a bit of a thriller horror story, a bit of itself, kind of a possession story. But yeah, really trippy. But I wasn't sure about the Green Lantern one, and I'm like, okay. I'm very in on this one here. So, and like I said, the Flash one, I'm going to give it a chance, because there's a lot more mystery to it. But we're dealing with Wally as our lead for that one. There's no Speed Force. He's the only speedster. And I think I've got a theory. I think the Speed Force is not so much, or his powers aren't so much like running fast. I think it's a time travel sort of thing that he can't control, because he kept jumping around from like, here's, I'm jumping ahead 2 days, and now boom, I'm back those same 2 days, and I'm back, so he kept moving around in time, but he wasn't, there was running going on, but I think a lot of his powers are time travel based that he can't control. So, and of course, a giant tentpole character of the Flash universe dies in the first issue. So, so really kind of stamping its foot down, like, this is the kind of book we're going to be here.
Yeah.
And that's written by Jeff Lemire. So with is it Javier Rodriguez doing the art? No, I can't remember who does the art, but the art's very good. So, but like I said, there's a lot more questions. So I'm intrigued, but I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what they're going to play with this one here.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like I said, the next wave is not bad, but definitely your high points are Manhunter and Green Lantern. So,
okay.
Our 2 indie books here. So last year was the 40th anniversary of the G.I. Joe 21, the silent issue. And what are you laughing about?
I'm just wondering, how many times are you going to buy that issue?
Well, this is the third copy because well, I've got my original, and then there was the 40th anniversary came out last year where it was a reprinting of 21, but it was also a remake of the same issue by different artists on every page. This is a full facsimile of the book, but it is celebrating. We've got a whole new wave of silent issues that are coming out where they're calling them the silent missions. So each week in April, we get a new silent book. So it kicked off with busting out the facsimile here, which, okay, yes, I'm buying it again because it's classic.
I was going to say, no, like, don't you even have the facsimile that was with the action figure set that it came with? Like, there was one figure set that had a facsimile of the silent issue with it, wasn't there?
I remember that set. No, I don't have that one. Like, so that's only my third copy of it.
Okay.
Call him out. Yeah,
I ain't saying that it's not a great issue. Don't get me wrong. It's just
I'm a Joe fan, but yeah, I couldn't pass it up because it's a nice facsimile.
Oh yeah,
it's the crispiest copy of the book I have. So there you go. But anyway, so on to the new stuff here. So we're going to get silent issue one shots for 5 different Joes, and basically we get them 1 week after the other. So the first week we get Beachhead, the grumpiest mofo in the Joe team. And
Beachhead's one of my favorites. I love him.
Dude, this is fun. Phil Hester is the one behind this one here, and Travis Himmel and Lee Lowridge do the inking and coloring on here. But yeah, Phil Hester's the writer and artist on here. Basically, we're starting off with we're in a third world country. Apparently, there's a Cobra helicopter that's passing over. And it crashes, and basically Beachhead had been taken prisoner, and so now Beachhead is injured and on the run from Cobra, and some people are helping him out, and then, of course, you got a single wounded man against a legion of Cobra people looking for him and the other Cobra people there. So yeah, it's Beachhead against many, and again, it's fun. Yeah. So I may have to pick one of those up for you.
I'd be down for that. Yeah, go ahead and grab one of them for me.
Mm-hmm. The other silent issues we're going to get next
grab
week.
Me a facsimile of the G.I. Joe silent issue too. Shut up. That'll be my first copy of it.
No. I'm sorry, I just had to get it out. Anyway, the other ones, next week we're going to get Jinx. She gets a one shot. Then we're going to get one shots from Roadblock, Duke, and the one I'm looking forward to, Spirit.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
I will never not think of Spirit as so. Speaking of your cousins, your other cousin, who I spent a lot of time with, there was one evening we were watching G.I. Joe the movie in his basement, and this is like when the DVD came out and they had like the PSAs on there as a separate thing, and so like they're like the kids are around a campfire, right? And then, like, one of them, their sleeve catches on fire, and then Spirit jumps out of a bush and tackles him with a blanket. And Brian's like, "What is he doing? Why is it? Why is there a crazy Native American watching these kids in the woods?"
How long had he been there watching them, waiting for them to catch on fire?
And then we started to pay attention, like, all of these G.I. Joe PSAs, like the one where the kids are in the water and the thunderstorm happens, Deep Six just shows up out of the like he's just been watching the kids from the bottom of the lake. And and he's like, "Oh, hey kids, you want to get out of here?" And they never been like, why are you, strange, highly trained, crazy government man, in this body of water looking up at these children? So many of them are.
Yeah, that's good. And of course, you can't forget the parody of the PSAs, where you get like, they're
Oh gosh, yeah.
completely revoiced. It's the same footage, but they're completely revoiced, and you get, basically
Roadblocks like Mr. Body Massage Man, like just driving up and moving the power
body,
line, and yeah,
body massage,
body
and then
massage, body
basically
massage.
blowtorch is worn about pork chop
Pork
sandwiches.
chop sandwiches.
Um, oh, there, I can't remember. This wasn't with those parodies, but there was. Oh, I know what it was. In the GI Joe Saturday Morning comic book, there was a 4-issue miniseries where basically it was, basically like an adventure, but the animation of the GI Joe Real American Hero cartoon. They
Right.
had PSAs in the back of each one. In the last issue, Snake Eyes had a PSA. Of course, basically the kids are doing something, and the Snake Eyes walks up on him, and the kid's like, "What?" And he's just standing there. And the kid's like, "What's going on?" Or like, "What's going on?" Like they're trying to ask him questions, and he's just standing there. And basically, like they wander off and they don't do what they're supposed to do. And Snake Eyes comes with the camera and gives a thumbs up.
GI Joe, yeah.
Yeah, the logo, yeah. But it's like, it's just, I don't know if like they were like playing. I don't know what was like they were playing with firecrackers or what it was. They were doing something dangerous, and literally all Snake Eyes does is just walks up and stares at him and doesn't speak because
Right.
Snake Eyes can't speak.
That's
It's like,
that reminds me of the toy fair where I can't remember who calls GI Joe headquarters, but Snake Eyes answers the phone and can't yeah.
like, who put Snake Eyes on death duty?
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. All right. So you said you had a couple of book reviews you want to talk
I got
about
a couple of books. Well, first, this is going to kind of bleed into our main topic for the evening. But the first one, this one, I got to enjoy. This one is a hell of an audio book, and I'm kind of turning around on them per se. But Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Have you read this one?
I have not. Michelle read this one, and of course, we've watched the series, and she basically picked apart the series of how wrong it was compared to the book.
See that because my next thing was like I was like, well, man, maybe I might watch this series, and
her biggest complaint is the girl. In the series, they cast her a little older than she is in the book.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I think they tried to do that to make it not look so creepy, but like, come on.
Yeah,
it's a Joe Hill horror story. What do you want from it?
Yeah, it's a Joe Hill horror story, and like a lot of it is about the loss of innocence and things like that. But no, it's like it's creepy as hell. And Kate Mulgrew, Captain Janeway from Deep Space Nine, narrates the audiobook, and she is phenomenal. Yeah, it is killer. And yeah, so definitely check the book out if you're a fan of just old school like horror kind of. It's definitely like it gave me old school Stephen King vibes. Like obviously because Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, but like that old like that Salem's Lot kind of like the Christine kind of like he makes a gritty horror kind of that. There's some uncomfortable things in there, and I do like that in my horror literature.
Joe Hill, a lot of Joe Hill stuff is really good. If you haven't read much of his stuff, he's definitely got the touch. So,
his comic book series Lock and Key is really, really good too.
The Hill House imprint that he briefly had with DC, the Basket Full of Heads, and then the sequel Refrigerator Full of Heads, both of those are outstanding horror comedy.
They're not doing that one anymore. The Hill House isn't.
No, it's not around anymore. Yeah, it didn't last long. Basically, Basket and Refrigerator were the only hits. There was some other good series, like the Dollhouse series was kind of cool too. Very creepy, weird stuff there. But it didn't take off. I mean, they even had a Conjuring book, and people were like, But apparently, they're doing a film for Basket Full of Heads, and Natasha Lyonne's going to be playing the lead role.
Oh, well. That's cool.
I hope it does well, is well received, so we can get Refrigerator Full of Heads, because Refrigerator Full of Heads is one of the best horror comedies that takes place adjacently with the events of Jaws, because it is in the town of Amity, and you got all the Viking weaponry cutting people's heads off. The heads are still talking, all that kind of jazz and other stuff going on. But then there's also a killer shark out in the water killing people, and all that's literally going on in the background.
Right. Jeez. That sounds awesome. It really does.
It is. Oh yeah, it's glorious. So
Yeah.
Anyway, your next book, sir?
My next book is, now this one I've had for a minute, but you actually procured this one for me. Conan, Cult of the Obsidian Moon, the Blackstone tie-in. I finally got a chance to read this one. And actually this will not, when we come back, not next week, but the following week, I'm going to have an effed up history about El Sprag de Camp, and we're going to talk a little bit more about books like this.
Yes.
Because, well, this book in particular goes a little harder in a lot of ways as for a Conan story than what you're used to. It's a little more gory, a little more graphic. Like there's no like hardcore sex in it or anything, but the violence is ramped up a little more. Like, and yeah, it gives it a little pulpy feeling. Now the other caveat to this though is that there's a trope that I am not a fan of, some Conan stories go to sometimes, that I refer to as Conan, friend of all children. And yeah, it's like when Conan finds a child that he just falls in love with, or like feels parental toward, not fall in love with like in a romantic sense, but like as a
in a
parental,
fatherly big brother sort of
yeah,
thing.
a mentor kind of way. That kind of happens here. It's not as bad as I've seen it before. But yeah, so long story short, Conan teams up with these two other Nords who are basically like they've had a bounty on their head for a long time. Conan is trying to help them escape this, and also teach their son how to be a badass warrior like Conan is. Right. And then of course, like the evil winged bat people start showing up, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
And as far as a Blackstone tie-in, it's not like the Blackstone connection's tertiary at best. It's there, but it's not like, yeah, you don't need to read it as part of the deal. But it's actually framed as a pulp novel with Robert Howard's character James Allison, who is it's framed as one of his experiences as one of his characters in a past life that Conan is present for. So it's very, very pulpy, very fun. Yeah, I like the Titan line of Conan pastiche they've been coming out with lately. They've got a couple of more coming out before the end of the year too, which I'm very interested to check out.
Yep. Let me know when you want me to order those for you.
Yeah.
Because James Allison, he's the Lair of the White Worm character, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because basically, so with if you're not familiar with the one Robert E. Howard story, Lair of the White Worm, which is a fantasy story that's not a Conan story, but essentially you've got a person in our real world, or at least in Robert E. Howard's present day, who is a writer and dreaming up stories, but apparently the stories he dreams up are real. And so he actually has literally the powers to create a world, make it a real thing, and he doesn't realize he's doing it. He's seeing these as weird fever dreams, and what he's doing is creating a literal world, and he can exist in both. So
yeah.
Oh,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so yeah, he's basically the storyteller, the story creator, and stuff like that. So he's kind of got this I wouldn't say godlike abilities, but he's not the god, he's a god.
Yeah. And it's really cool because it's, the story is definitely like from a Conan centric. So it's not like, it's not like you're getting like Conan as a side character or anything. But but it's presented in a really good way. Like I really enjoyed that. Especially and it's a very fast paced Conan story too. Didn't drag or anything like that. So
that's always a bonus.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, so getting to our topic du jour here, since you said we were kind of related with this one here. So talking about being a frugal geek, being a geek on a budget, because of course there's all kinds of ways to get your social media, your streaming services, and buy comics and buy toys, so yeah, but it's a lot of money. And so so if you're on a budget, if you're a working person, if you're basically trying to make house payments, or you got kids and stuff like that, you can't afford to do all that stuff. These are ways that you can still have fun, still geek out, still enjoy the stuff, but do it either free or very low cost.
Yeah. And of course, obviously, like we're talking like you've got your big streaming services like your Netflixes and your Hulus and the
Disney and
ones
all
that
that
are
jazz.
Disney, the ones that are always like, hey, pay me, it's like right up front. But don't sleep on your ones like you and I are big Tubi fans.
Yes, we
We
are.
we enjoy our Tubi because even though it's got ads on it, it's got a hell of a movie selection.
Yes, it does.
And yeah, and so and a lot of this, I mean, it's quality movies, like especially if you're into like horror exploitation,
Hmm.
stuff that. Do you remember these are the ones that we were going to bet like 25 years ago? We were going to Best Buy in Circuit City and paying like $30 for these discs for these movies that we'd never seen, we just heard about.
Yep.
And now we can just stream them, conveniently into our house and not have to worry about spending money on crap that we were never going to watch again. You know how many times I watched Sleepaway Camp 2 after the first time?
How many?
None. You know why? Because Sleepaway Camp's a one-trick pony. Once you've seen the first one, the rest of the rest of them just got to be regular slashers. Ain't nothing special about Sleepaway
But
Camp.
two's really funny though, because they kind of realized they had to kind of go in a different direction. So you got you got the girl from the first one. She's all grown up now, and she's just basically murdering children. But it's like they really turned up the comedy in that one.
Yeah.
It's fun. I haven't seen the third one in a really long time, so I don't even remember it. But I'll give two a little bit of love because but the original actress from the first one wasn't recast, and so she didn't come. She was only in the first one. She didn't come back. It's kind of funny.
It's Pamela Springsteen is the one in 2 and 3, right? Bruce Springsteen's sister. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which that's a fun fact there. Yeah. Bruce Springsteen's kid sister is in these two slasher movies.
Yeah.
But it's a series of slasher movies that were filmed entirely in New Jersey, and all the actors that were in there were all entirely from New Jersey because the accents are as thick as molasses.
Yes, yeah. The point being is, you didn't have to pay $60 for the Anchor Bay box set. You can stream this crap now, and or good movies. Not talking about Sleepaway Camp.
Sure,
but
the one thing I love is that Tubi's got a lot of stuff that's out of print on physical media, like Near Dark. It's currently on Tubi. Yeah. Near Dark's been out of print for 20 years. It's one of the finest vampire films of the 1980s, probably of all time. But that's could be argued. But at least of the 1980s, and it's streaming on Tubi. So there's all kinds of great, undiscovered stuff or gems on there, or things that have been out of print for a while. Tubi is where definitely.
Yeah, Tubi's one of them. I know Pluto TV is another one that's actually got a pretty good selection on there. Yep. And especially like obscure sci-fi, I think is a lot of their stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course they've got TV channels that are dedicated to certain genres or certain shows. So like you just want to sit and watch old Star Trek episodes all day, they got a Star Trek channel. Or you really like Bar Rescue, they got a Bar Rescue channel on there, or other reality shows and stuff like that. They've got sports on there. But if you're a wrestling fan, there's a 24/7 TNA Impact Wrestling channel that shows old stuff, semi-current stuff, whatever else. There is also a 24/7 AAA Lucha Libre channel that's on the Spanish section. Yep. And if you like of course, everything's in Spanish, so it doesn't matter. But if you like your Lucha Libre, boom, head on over there. So you get free wrestling. So
continuing with free wrestling. So you and I had talked about this I think we might have even talked about it in our group chat, but talking about the stuff that WWE is now putting up on YouTube for free with their WWE Vault channel, their WCW Vault channel. They're running old Nitros, old Raws. They're running full pay-per-views.
Yep.
They're doing curated, edited content. They had a 4-hour Terry Funk compilation up there.
Yep.
Can you imagine as a tape trader or somebody like, how like you would trade and have this stuff edited off of 2 VCRs? Can you imagine just the idea of just going on a website and then just firing it up and watching 4 hours of Terry Funk?
I can watch it I can watch it 4 hours on my phone.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
opposed to like, oh yeah, we would have stabbed a hobo for this, 25 years ago. We would have like no,
Oh,
people
no,
don't understand. Yeah,
yeah.
no, back in the day, the availability of this crap now, like the free stuff, where the like when we were growing up, if it was free, it wasn't worth it half the time.
No.
Like it was, yeah, it was like the most generic stuff. Like you might get lucky with stuff on like the BBC where like Red Dwarf was actually a good show. And
Sure, yeah.
like, but it was free, but like nobody knew about it. So it was like a weirdly kept secret, but like yeah, or maybe like you get lucky and like the library would have stuff, which is going to be a good segue into our next point of topic, which
Mhm.
what brought us to this point,
Yes, it
which
did.
was do not underestimate your local library, especially if you are in the United States.
Damn
So
right.
yeah, working all this overtime, right? Like I had to, what it was a lot of work that I had to like just be kind of, I couldn't read or do anything else, like, aside from what I was focusing on, but I could listen to books, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm a cheap bastard. Okay. So I will take advantage of my Audible deals with books where it's like they'll give you like a free trial for a month. And then like
Mhm.
before it's over, if you're like, no, this is too expensive at free, they're like, are you sure? We'll give you 3 months for 99 cents. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll try it again. And then, you tell them another time that it's still too expensive. Then it's only $8 a month for 3 months. I ain't paying $15 a month for this crap. So, yeah. But anyway, long story short is I burned through a lot of books really quick because,
Okay.
it's like when you're doing this, like, 12-hour chunks at a time, books tend to go.
They
Well,
fly by, yeah.
yeah. But now with like the library system, like they have Libby and Overdrive and Hoopla, and there are
Mhm.
these apps that like, Libby has been a lifesaver because that was where I listened to Nosferatu. You go
Oh, nice.
online, yeah, you go online, you check out your book for like however long, 21 days or 14, however long you set up your loan for, and you get to listen to it. It's just like Audible with like you can change the speed back and forth, chapter selection, the whole shebang, right? The kicker
Wow.
is though it's free. It doesn't cost you it doesn't cost you an Audible credit, and it's like how many times do you go back through and listen to books? Like I can understand if you're a repeat customer to go
Sure.
back through, that kind of stuff, but it's like that why not take advantage of this free resource? And it's not even free, like you're paying your tax dollars are paying for it. You
Sure,
might as
yeah.
well use it. It's
Yeah.
technically your collection. And that's the other thing too. It's like I've been using it for like hardcover books as well.
Yeah.
So it's like I've got like some Happen Leonard books that I've got like some Joe Hill short fiction that I'm really looking
Nice.
forward to get. Yeah, and it's like all this stuff that's just been hanging out in this building down by my street that it's like I'd been ordering this crap from Amazon and paying
Mhm.
astronomical amounts for when I could just go and have it and borrow it and
For
take it
free.
back later. Yeah. And
Yep.
so do not, oh, and going inside the library, did you know that the library has video games? Like you can
What?
rent PS4 and Xbox games and PS5 games. Yeah, the library's got video games, dude. You can
What?
go in there and rent video games.
Okay, that's cool. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
right. Yeah, and I mean it's like yeah, the DVD selection, the Blu-ray selection, like rivals a video store at this point.
Yep.
Audio, like my library has audio CDs and a 3D printer, dude.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it's like a nerd out with this stuff that yeah, take advantage of this shit. Look at what you can get for free or for cheap through your library. It'll
Uh,
blow your mind.
Batman Ultra, what is up, brother?
What's
Say, yeah, he's
up?
got video games, DVDs, audiobooks, and so
Audiobooks.
on
Yeah,
there.
oh yeah. Yeah, no,
Yep.
the kicker about
Yeah, they
well,
are
oh yeah,
stacked. You're
libraries
right
are
about that.
stacked. The only negative thing that I can say, and this is not even a knock against the library, is like looking at their audiobooks because they're all on CD now, right? Like
Right,
there's
yeah.
one's physical like in the library. Except that, like, I don't have a disk drive. I can't, like, rip them to, like, put them on a device, and, like, I don't have a portable CD player, so it's like, all of this crap, I can't use it. I feel like Burgess Meredith at the end of that Twilight Zone episode, like,
Dude,
"No."
they started releasing Discmans again for like a retro thing. I guarantee you could probably pick up a Discman for like under $20.
Oh, I'm definitely I'm sure, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's just, like, it's hard to go back, like, now, like, with the idea of an audiobook, like, because you remember, like, an unabridged audiobook could be, like, 30 CDs,
Oh yeah.
and now it's like a digital file that's, like, half a gig. Yeah.
Obsolete man reference. Thank you.
But yeah, no, yeah, don't sleep on your libraries, y'all, because it's yeah,
Absolutely.
the library was fun to me as a kid, and it's fun to me as an adult now too. So yeah, it's
Dude,
yeah,
I tell you what, there was uh, early on, in my childhood, of course, libraries will have like book sales or book fairs. We're kind of like, all right, we're trying to clean some old stuff out, so come get some
right.
stuff there. And I would get comic books like from the
Oh yeah.
library. Yeah, so I remember a fat stack of books I got for like $5. I had some,
Uh,
allowance money and just
yeah.
giant fat stack of books there. So
Oh,
yeah, that was
sweet.
it
Yeah.
was that was awesome. But yeah, I
Yeah.
always would rent would borrow trade paperbacks from
Mm-hmm.
libraries. I was a big CD and DVD, and well VHS at the time, and then later on DVD. So yeah, that's the thing. It's that people kind of miss out on it. It's like if you're not just into books, like there's so much other media that's there, or they sometimes your local libraries will actually have online databases for audiobooks, or they'll basically be in conjunction with Hoopla or with some other these
Oh,
other free places.
dude, yeah, Hoopla. That was yeah, we were talking about it before we came on. Hoopla is another thing. It's separate from Libby, right? And
Hmm.
depending on your library, how your library is structured, you would get like so many rent borrows a month, right? Like my library
Yeah,
is 5. It's kind of low, but that's not a big deal. But
sure. Yeah,
the thing with Hoopla though, like Libby has like if you wanted to check out a book, there'd be like 20 digital copies of a book, so you'd have to be on a wait list and everything. That is the other drawback. It's like you can set up a wait list and not everything may be available immediately. But
right.
it's been pretty cool because I've been doing this for a couple of weeks now, and stuff's been coming in pretty hot and heavy, pretty quick. Like and especially like those Conan short stories
Yeah,
that Titan has been releasing. Yeah, I've gotten like 4 or 5 of them already just because of the hold system through the way that it's going. But no, talk about Hoopla. Hoopla is a thing where it's like as that's different where it's the checkout system. Hoopla, if it's there, it's there, right?
right.
So it's like you can just like get it and borrow it. But I was telling George on my Hoopla right now, I've got Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow checked out, the entire trade paperback, and they have the GI Joe compendium, the one that Skybound just released. It's the first
Yeah, the one that
50
was big
issues.
crowdfunded. Yeah,
Yeah, that thing is on Hoopla for free right now. You can go and order and check it out.
yeah. Matter
And
of fact, I think Hoopla might be. Yeah, there you go. There's Hoopla on the list right there. Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, they've got Invincible Compendium. So basically, if you're
yep,
loving the show on Amazon, or if you've heard about the show on Amazon, you're trying to get a hold of the book, getting back issues for Amazon, just get the trades, folks. You can't
yeah,
find back issues, just get the trades.
just yeah,
Anyway, yeah, but you can read the entire series of Invincible on Hoopla. They're why
yeah.
the last
The
man's out
Energon
there.
universe, all the trades and the issues are on Hoopla.
Archie stuff, IDW, which IDW includes their versions of GI Joe, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which they
Hmm.
currently still have. My Little Pony, Sonic the Hedgehog, all kinds of
Yeah,
cool, cartoon stuff.
yeah,
Um, Webtoon's another one. That's another free comic book place there. Now, sometimes they will actually have some high end, some DC and some Marvel stuff, but they really focus a lot more on independent stuff, and then a lot more like comic strip
yeah.
based stuff. But again, free. Let's go down to Viz. So Viz is basically the spot for the manga fans here.
Oh
So
yeah, they got all kinds of free stuff.
My Hero Academia, Shonen Jump, Demon Slayer, One Punch, Legend of Zelda, Assassination Classroom, Kojin X. Yeah, the list goes on and on. So they've got basically the app allows you to read free chapters, but to be able to get the whole access to the site, $1.99 a month. So
It,
for $2 a month, you've
yeah,
access to 10,000 manga at
that is
least.
a hell of a deal right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that is.
And let's talk about old school here. The OG
Oh geez,
Shonen
yeah,
Jump here. Basically, the anthology for finding your manga. Basically, whatever's hot right now, the up and comer stuff, whatever else. Like One Piece debuted in here, Dragon Ball, Naruto. all the list goes on and on of all the top guys. They all came from Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And for that app is only $3 a month for geez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's big. They went up $1.
Yeah, I'm just still that's like, oh man.
Now we go to Marvel here. Now Marvel does have a digital service for comic books that I think it's like $10 a month or whatever else that allows access to older books. They have I think like an under 3-month turnaround for new stuff getting on the app, so they got a pretty good thing on there. But on the app itself and on the website, they offer a ton of free stuff. A lot of times it's the free comic book day books, but there's other times they will put like first appearances, key issues, the beginnings of certain series or whatever else. And it changes out every month. So they don't just have the same stuff up there all the time. And this has been going on for quite some time. So this is something.
Yeah, Marvel, even if you decide to pay for Marvel Unlimited as a service, like it's really impressive for what it is. But no, it's like for what they give is free content too. And it's like don't ever let anybody try and like shame you into the like away from or feel bad about using any of this free stuff. It's there to like it's there for you to use. Use it, enjoy it. Yeah, it's like who cares if you can't pay for the rest of it or whatever. It's like
we can't all be Tony Stark. Some of us got to be Rat King. In the sewers.
Exactly.
DC Universe Infinite, they've also got their own service as well. So they're $8 a month, but they've got a bunch of stuff there. But again, free comic book day stuff is available on there. They also swap out a lot of stuff, older books as well. And also you can do a 7-day trial. So you get access to the whole thing there for $7. So there you go there. But we got to talk about good old Dark Horse. The OG when it comes to independent books here. Yes, Image may be the big daddy in town, but we wouldn't have that without the success of Dark Horse over the last 40, almost 50 years now.
Yeah, I was going to say Dark Horse, man, they're a survivor.
Yes, they are.
They really are. Like they have been Star Wars kept them afloat in the late 80s, early 90s, and then they had like a bigger boom period, but like you can't keep them down. You definitely can't.
You can, of course. That's the home of Hellboy, a Flaming Carrot, Concrete, Aardvark. There's Cerberus. So it's
no. Cerberus is not Dark Horse. He's not Dark Horse.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's Aardvark Mannheim. Yeah, he's a super indie. Yeah.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. But anyway. And you always associate that with it, Cerberus with that same time period anyway.
Yeah, honestly, there was a period of time because they were the same style, but like I had trouble differentiating the Cerebus trade paperbacks from the Concrete trade paperbacks. The way that they were. Yeah, so it's like I know where you're coming from with it.
Yeah,
but
and Batman interesting. He's some of his favorite trades. The first time at the library or through services like Hoopla. And see, again, this is great for younger readers. If you're just getting started into comics, you don't know where to start, or you get some recommendations, boom, get on places like Hoopla or get in your local library. You can get a lot of those tentpole storylines and get caught up again for low cost. You don't have to put out the hundreds of thousands of dollars for the originals. You can read that stuff for free and get caught up on that.
Yeah. I tell you, like one of the things that got me, I'm looking at Reddit the other day, just flipping through it on the phone, right? And they talk they have that picture of the girl who's playing Supergirl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, her.
I
can't remember her name, but she's reading Woman of Tomorrow, and looking at the comments on it. Somebody now here's the difference in how to sell this story to somebody, right? Yeah. So the first comment is, "Oh, it's a great Supergirl story with an interesting twist, and it's all in one go." Okay, that sounds like DVD text that I skip over, right? The next comment is like, shut up, don't listen to that guy. It's true grit, but Supergirl's the cowboy. Yeah. Boom. Let's go. All right. That's how you sell me the story. It's true grit, but Supergirl's the cowboy.
Oh, yeah. And Lobo's in it too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just
That's
to
all
put,
you need to sell it. Yeah, it's like
yeah, just
miss me with the it's a great take on or it's a great twist on super. It's like okay, whatever. Yeah,
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 yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, yeah, Batman Ultra's a big fan of Viz there. He's
yeah.
been reading them for ages.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, and yeah, Shonen Jump literally gave us Dragon Ball, exactly.
yeah. Man, I
Oh
remember
yeah.
when you could pick up those Shonen Jump magazines like in the supermarket along with like the regular like video game magazines and everything. Yeah,
Oh, I
Dark Horse is
know.
never going to die, I don't think either.
No. Yeah, I mean, they have well over 100 free comics on their comics hub. So of course you can go on their website, or they've got an app as well. Barnes and Noble, one of the best kept secrets of free comics, is on the Barnes and Noble website. You gotta
Really?
you have to download the Nook app to your favorite device, and then you can download and access almost 1,000 comics spanning the gamut from fantasy, manga to DC superheroes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me because Barnes and Noble is really making a push against Amazon with trying to get their book space back, I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's cool. That is
And of course,
cool.
I mean, as far as I'm not sure in your neck of the woods, but as far as I go here in E-Town, the only place I can buy new DVDs or I can get my Criterion stuff, Barnes and Noble.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Walmart, Best Buy, Target, no. Well, actually, no, take it back. Walmart still has them. But
yeah. Walmart still has like, if I want to buy TV or DVD copies of Taylor Sheridan shows, Walmart got my back.
that's true.
But yeah,
And Walmart also knows where their bread is buttered and knows, like, okay, the common man, this is where they go. So
yeah,
if you want like cheap copies of lowbrow stuff, or like kind of going back to the days of like, this is probably going to be a really crappy movie, but it's $5, and you know what, it might be a good fun night, so
yeah,
and it's like some, it's not like an old movie, it's like something new. So it's like, yeah, they like I said, they definitely cater to the crowd who doesn't have a lot of money, and I
yeah.
appreciate that fact.
I
Yeah.
the first time that I saw it was a DVD 5-pack of the Phantasm series.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, and it's at Walmart for $10, and I'm like, wow, this is something,
Yeah.
like, yeah, that blows my mind to see that there.
Hmm. Yeah. So there, like I said, there's definitely some benefits to that.
Yeah.
Whatever, of course, Comixology Unlimited. Now, of course, they've been associated with Amazon. But Comixology still exists. It's through basically it's 100% through Amazon now. But again, much like DC and Marvel, they have free comic book day offerings. But of course, they
Mhm.
actually offer a lot of the indie offerings outside of the Marvel and DC stuff.
Yeah.
So, and of course, they have other things there, like you can basically read Detective Comics 27, the first appearance of Batman. Yeah, so you did, or they got like three fairly new indies here, Fatale and Chronauts. I mean, those are like less than 15 years old. And Marvel Voices, okay, sure. But it's like, and Detective Comics 27. Like, that's an interesting one there.
Yeah. And
This,
again, I don't think we even mentioned this to begin with, too. These are all legit ways to like
yes.
free legit ways where no piracy needed or anything like that.
Yep.
This is yeah.
No, you're not breaking any copyright laws or anything like
Yeah,
that. The po-po is not going to come busting down your door. This is 100% legal.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Amazon's done Comixology very dirty. I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I
Yeah,
gotta.
I'm not thrilled with Amazon doing what they did with Comixology. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Comixology was a great app, literally until Amazon got a hold of them. So you can
yeah,
still get some free stuff, the free comic books, if you're an Amazon Prime member or if you're just on there doing the free thing. But yeah, there's a lot of other places you go to.
yeah.
So, hey, what's up, Brad?
Hey, brother. Hello, children.
Hello.
Hello,
Oh
children.
shit, dude! Oh man, there's the trailer for the new season of South Park is out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait for it.
yeah,
It's been far too long without my South Park peoples.
yes, that is very true. And Batman also saying it's literally a perfect comic app, and then Bezos. Yeah,
Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
yep. So, and then one other. This is a fairly. I'm not sure how long Tapas has been around here, but this was something I've had not seen before here, but definitely. catering to original comics by indie creators. And like Webtoon, they put some chapters behind a paywall, so you can usually read like some of the stuff for free, but not the whole thing there. But yeah, like if you're 100% against the Marvel and the DC stuff, if you only want to mess with indie books here, then Tapas is basically a good place to check that out. So yeah, but so that's at least your basically kind of a nice gamut of a bunch of different sites to go to for free manga and for free comics or whatever else. So
yeah,
like I said, there's so many, like so we've talked about places for free movies and TV, for free comics, for free books, free audiobooks. And of course, music's not completely out of the picture there. You could basically get you could download Spotify and Apple Music for free, and there's ads you got to deal with there. But you can
right,
still
yeah, it's like ads and so many skips that you get and stuff like that. But still, it's it, you can punch in. You get you don't have to pay for like your the new hotness, your new favorite album. You can just listen to it as many times as you want to for free. With a lot of these things.
Pandora is also a great place too to kind of. Pandora, I think, is a great site to discover bands because you pick your channel of like, okay, I want to listen to the Black Sabbath channel, right? And so they'll play Black Sabbath songs, and they'll play like some Ozzy songs, and they'll play bands that may sound similar or may have been inspired by Sabbath, and that gives you an opportunity to basically discover new things. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of how Google how Google Music handles the discovery part because it feels like I have had the same recommendations in my playlists for months now, and it's like, yes, you've known that I like Rainbow in the Dark, like you give it to me on my shuffle all the damn time, like yeah, it's like you don't need to keep recommending it to me, and it's.
Oh, that's good. Batman also got a good point here. If you listen to Spotify on a TV or on your computer, no ads.
Oh, well, hell, I did
Look
not
at
know that.
Look at
That is cool.
Helpy Helperton there.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Oh, and basically, that Bannis's YouTube music is kind of underrated, but yeah, apparently not good for discovery though. Yes.
Yeah, it's not my favorite on some things. Like it's good now as far as like album play and everything. Like I'm happy with that. I'm more of an album guy anyway, and I make my own playlists and things like that. But
yeah. And of course, if going back to streaming services, especially if you have a Roku, there are all kinds of free services, like literally, cheapo apps on there. They're basically like, what kind of genre do you like? We're just going to show a bunch of like, maybe it'll be you get a bit of like a buffet you can select, or maybe it'd be like Pluto, where it's literally like a streaming TV. So you just pick whatever show you're going to watch, and then basically it'll just play it for you, and you get ads and stuff like that.
There's I know there's Tubi, there's Freevee. That's the big thing that's connected with IMDb and Amazon. There's that one. The Roku channel itself has a bunch of free stuff that you can check out. Like that. One of my favorite shows ever is News Radio, with Dave Foley and Phil Hartman and everything. Yeah. It's on the Roku channel. I fall asleep to that quite often. It's great.
Nice. And of course, secretly, it's been popping up on the Roku channel for a few years now. I think we talked about it a few episodes ago.
Oh yeah.
Cinema Box, which basically like Cinema Box pops up and they're on there for a little bit and they close down. But their most recent claim to fame was they had the original 1977 cut of Star Wars on there.
Yeah.
So
that's wild to me, man.
Yeah. So there was some crazy stuff on there. Oh, we were briefly talking about Black Sabbath. Bradley had to ask us, have we ever heard of Mac Sabbath?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, we have heard of Mac Sabbath. Our friend Audrey went to go see them actually.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool. That's right. She
did. Bradley. Yeah, no, we were getting ready to do one of the Smokes and Road Beer specials, and our friend Audrey was like, "Yeah, after this, like, my boyfriend and I are going to go see this band called Mac Sabbath." And George and I both pop like Ric Flair's just entered the building, right? So we have to explain what it is, and then like explain great song titles like Sweet Beef and what was the other one that hell. I can't. Of course, now that I'm trying to think of it, I can't. Yeah, but no, we do know Max Sabbath. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and of course he says, speaking of McDonald's, he's gonna be working there. So,
Nice.
Well, Bradley, you deserve a break today, sir.
One of my first and probably my favorite job was McDonald's, but mainly just because it was me and my delinquent friends that worked there. And
Nice.
yeah.
I never worked at McDonald's. Burger joints. I did a Hardee's for like a couple of months, and then I worked at a Dairy Queen for like 2 years. So
yeah. Bradley, just don't do what I did and inadvertently cause an EPA disaster out behind your McDonald's. I think I could tell this story now because the statute of limitations should be long over. But so no, all through high school I worked at the local McDonald's in my town growing up. And after I graduated high school the summer before I went to college, I did overnight maintenance, which would be going in there for like this was before McDonald's were open all night, right?
Yeah.
So like our store would close at like 11 and I'd show up at like 10 and then like me and another dude would stay there until 5 or 6 in the morning cleaning the place up, and like we'd filter the fry vats and all this stuff. Basically what a lot of nights turned into was the other guy would call in, so me and my other buddy Chuck, we would hang out in McDonald's, and do some other stuff that I'm not going to mention on a family-friendly podcast. Make a lot of food, and then watch television up until like 2 hours before everybody shows up, and then clean the entire store in a panicked frenzy. But once a week we would have to filter the fry vats, right?
Oh yeah.
Which would be like taking this cart and like pulling all the grease out of the fry vats, taking it back to this other thing, and having it suck all this grease into this container. And then this dude came every 6 months and pulled it out, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well, the problem is that the hose that connected to our little grease cart to suck all the grease out, it never worked, right? It was always clogged and they'd never fix it. So I had to do something with the old grease, right? So I wheel it through the parking lot at 3 a.m. at pitch black out behind our dumpsters, and I would just turn it over, right? So we're talking like I did this once a week for 3 months.
Oh my God.
And it was pitch black, right? So then I go off to college, it's like I never hear anything else about it. Then I come back, go visit, go back home, visit people, stop at the McDonald's. The dude that I normally was supposed to be working with is like, I didn't tell anybody, but oh man, there was some deep shit that happened. And I was like, what? And he was like, where you went and dumped all the grease out behind the shed. The owner went back there one day, and apparently it was just like this large congealed mass of like toxic sludge that had been growing in this ever like spreading radiance of non-decaying grease. He ended up getting and it was something ridiculous, like 100 feet away from a water drainage ditch. And so he flipped out and had to pay like something like almost like $20,000 to get it cleaned up, because it was an EPA hazard, and it was like it had already seeped into the groundwater like through the ditch and everything. Yeah, it was. Oh man, yeah, I almost got that McDonald's like closed like inadvertently.
Did you get fired?
No, they never found out it was me.
The perfect crime.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, my face hurts. That is amazing.
Yeah, no, they never found out. That homeboy never ratted me out.
Oh God.
Probably because I think he was afraid he might have gotten canned too. It's like he knew that I was doing it, and so he wasn't going to say anything. Now, how they didn't put 2 and 2 together, like as to what it was and like who it was doing, because it was like, I went to college and it was him, so it's like he could have very easily been like, Seth did that. But I don't know the details. I just know that that's what happened. Like,
that is brilliant. Oh my God. Yeah. So Bradley, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, Bradley. That's bad.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, back to the top. I love story time. That was a fantastic.
Sorry. Yeah, that was a horrible digression on my.
No, that was a great digression. Yeah. Well, we'll get a couple more comments up here though too. V's back up here. Good to see you again, brother. iHeartRadio for some digital standards. Yes, that is also true. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And also,
don't
that's
sleep on free podcasts either. Like free podcasts can really get you, like, especially with like old timey radio shows. They like you can find like huge blocks of them, and
Mhm.
audiobook. Yeah, you can find audiobook podcasts that are just like basically people reading chapters of classics and things like
Yep.
that. Yeah,
So I get my corny every week. So with
yeah,
basically listen on Spotify, and I don't have a Spotify account or at least a paid one. So yeah, I'll listen for free on there. So
yeah.
yeah, Bradley also, basically we were talking about Tubi earlier.
Tubi,
They the
yeah,
shit.
Tubi is
Yes,
the
yes,
shit.
yes, they are. Oh yeah, and AJ also loves
Yes.
news
Oh
radio.
yes.
Yes.
Dude, news radio is an underrated classic. I don't care. Like it's so funny and it's like serious and absurd at the same time. And yeah. It's
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Batman Ultra did work at a Wendy's at
work
the beginning of COVID. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, there's one particular
You know
story
the
that
fast food pain.
yes, there's one particular story that I think AJ would enjoy telling here on the podcast of an interesting thing that happened to him whilst working at a fast food restaurant. That is his story to tell. But
Okay.
it's one he shared with me very early on. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. Seth is going to get a call after this podcast.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, yeah. A resident attacking the grease monster.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's like it they never found out until
Until
now. Yeah.
now.
No, it's like I can just imagine it's like, that Return of the Living Dead, like sludge bubbly stuff that like, and it's just steaming and creating something grotesque in the sunlight. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. AJ, yeah. Batman Ultra. I keep it going. Yeah. I keep calling your real name there. Yeah. You'll have to have you on. Yes. We're gonna have you on just to tell just
Yes.
the completely random appearance here. All right. You had an interesting story to tell at the time you worked there. Yeah. Bradley's got to say a recommendation for a YouTube album. Varg
Varg
Skelethor's.
Skelethor's Ghostbusters. Huh.
Okay.
Okay. Varg Skeletor. Okay. All right.
I gotta
I
learn.
I'm
I gotta learn to
I
pronounce Varg Skeletor first.
yeah, that's like that's a hard one to roll off the tongue.
It is, but I tell you what, Bradley's good for out of the way recommendations. Though. So
Okay, okay.
he does not like your normal basic stuff there. So yeah,
I
he
mean,
is
I'm a Ghostbusters fanatic anyway, so yeah, I will. Yeah,
yeah he's
I almost
refined.
have to.
Yeah, of course. If you remember, Bradley several months ago attended his very first Guar show. If you remember,
That is right. Yes.
yes, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, so there you are. All right, so I think we actually wrapped up our topic here in under an hour and a half.
Wow, that is that might be our shortest show, maybe.
It might be. I mean, I did a half-hour one once before, so so there
Yeah.
we had a really short one there, but
You and I are never going to go half an hour.
No,
yeah,
we're not. Oh yeah, Bad don't say a new world record.
New world record, yeah.
Oh
God, yeah.
He's not talking about the ELO record. We're talking about our world record of shortest episode. Yes.
Yeah. No, I just bless his heart. Joe kept trying to get us to wrap it up at the TV station all the time, and we go like 40 minutes, and like, yeah.
It's like we were getting to the people were talking to us. We're having a good time. We're spreading the word of the CW and the shows. Like, stop trying to ruin our fun and make us go back to real work.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, God bless Joe.
Yeah,
good man. But yeah, he that was the high point of his week too. But he also was like, all right, I got to be the parent to tell the kids we got to go back to to school.
In his defense, if he didn't do it, we would do an hour and a half in the WDRB studio. Yeah, like
we would have gone. Dude, depending on what was going on that week with CW stuff or what was coming up, we could have gone 2 hours.
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah.
So yeah,
why are they using a professional television studio to make a YouTube show? Yeah, or a
Shut up. You got your bigger studio with your news, your weather, and sports. We're having fun. The smaller studio,
yeah.
Yeah, that was I didn't have to fight with everybody, but that was literally a fight I kind of had to have every week because some errant reporter would come in like, "Oh, I'm going to interview this person. What time is it? What day of the week is it? No, you're not.
Yeah.
You could do anything else, but that hour from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Fridays, you don't touch it."
I remember when you came in that one time and somebody had it set up like for the interview, and you're like, nope, and just like started moving chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nope. Because I tell you what, man, if you don't stand up for yourself in situations like that, they just roll on over
You will
you.
never. Yeah, you will never get your. Yeah, you will never get anything done.
Yeah, so I wasn't trying to be a jerk or anything like that, but it's like you got to stand up for that stuff. It's
Yeah,
like,
you
yeah,
just got to do it sometimes. Yeah.
so like I said, I would have some people on my side, some people in charge, like, oh no, that's your time, that's your space, so you're good to go. But but always try to make good. It's like, oh hey, just to let you know, I got this show here, I got a guest this week, so I'm gonna oh yeah, you're good yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pavis has got to stand like a tree. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. All right. Oh, and V saying, stay safe, Fanatic Gurus. You too, guys. Yeah. Like I said, we said earlier in the show, we're going to be off next week because I'll be in Chicago for C2E2, sharing in the glory with the Phoenix Sisters Entertainment Network and our award-winning charity podcast and stuff like that. So that's cool. And yes. I may get to rub some elbows with some famous people and so like I know it's like the list is humongous. So like the real top people, like Jenny Frizen's going to be there. It would be cool to meet Jenny Frizen. She's a very talented artist, but I guarantee you her line's going to be massive.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of some old school lists, like Keith Giffin's going to be there.
Really? That's
mm-hmm.
Hang on. That is.
Yeah, Keith Giffin's going to be there. Art Adams is going to be there.
If Keith Giffen is going to be there, that's pretty impressive because he passed in 2023.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, he did. Holy crap!
That's what I'm saying because it's like I've got like his art on my wall down here, and I'm like, wait, what?
Okay, I gotta look at that.
I'm looking it up now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay, hang on. I was like, good Lord.
I kind of hope that they're advertising him in a morbid way, but like just so that
But yeah, oh man, but yeah, I could have swore I saw that he was on the list there.
Holy shit, you got Emilio Estevez?
Oh yeah, he's gonna be there. Yep. Dang. Yeah, they're doing like there's a whole Breakfast Club reunion. So yeah, so like
well, let's get these TV people out of the way and go straight to the comics people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like Alex Saviok's gonna be there. There's a
legend there. Yeah. Sorry, folks. This is the part of the show where we just browse the internet and talk while we make you wait.
Exactly there. But the two artists I'm excited about. Corey Andrews is going to be there. I love his art. But the thing I'm really excited about is that Joseph Schmalke is going to be there. He does 7 Years in Darkness, which I know he's in the list of very talented people. He's still kind of a newcomer, but still I love that book. So I'll be very excited.
The Foxtrot guy is going to be there.
Yeah. Bill Amend. Yep. And Richard's not going to be there, but Wendy Peeney's going to be there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Bob.
Oh shit! Eric Larson's going to be there. You lucky son of.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Dang.
Oh man. All right, I might have to grab an autograph for you there.
Oh, dude, yeah, if you can, please do. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, except I don't know, Colt Cabana, dude. Colt Cabana's gonna be there.
Boom, boom, Colt Cabana. Boom.
Yeah, they're gonna have some wrestlers there too. See, I was excited because Patton Oswalt's gonna be there, but he's not gonna be there on the Friday because he's doing a stand-up show that night. So he'll be there Saturday and Sunday. It's because I really want to be Patton Oswalt. So, because I love Patton stuff there. Oh, Danhausen is going to be there.
Nice.
Yeah, David Finch. So, yeah, David Finch going to have a busy.
Yeah, I saw David Finch. I saw Claremont was going to be there too.
Yeah, Claremont's going to be there. He'll have a busy booth. Donnie Cates has been kind of like MIA for a little bit, so his place is going to be jumping.
Yeah.
We're going to have a little bit of a Lord of the Rings stuff there because I see like Elijah Wood. I see some of the other hobbits there. Dominic Monaghan's going to be there, stuff like that. So we get a little bit of Lord of the Rings, a little bit of Breakfast Club there.
Tim Zong's going to be there. Okay. Tom King.
Frank Cho, Greg Horn, Mr. Booby Book's going to be there.
No, both the Peonies are going to be there. Richard and Wendy. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't see Richard on the list. I just saw Wendy. I was like, that's weird.
Yeah,
That's
they
like,
got
I
him
wonder.
listed separate. Yeah, and he's like way
Yeah.
higher. Yeah, like he's in the. I'm not sure how they got this list ordered, to be honest, but
Jake Busey's going to be there.
oh, geez. Yeah, this is going to be a
Yes.
stacked con. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's friggin' Chicago. So yeah, so it's like I'm kind of picking and choosing. Like okay, I don't want to spend like $1,000 on here. So yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. No Amanda Connor, sadly. Yep.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. V's a big Amanda Connor fan. Yeah.
I can dig
Oh,
that. Amanda. Yeah.
and yeah. Okay, well, briefly, we'll talk about this one real quick here.
Yeah.
Yes, gotta talk about Val Kilmer passing away.
Yeah. And what we were saying on Smokes and Road, or what I was saying on Smokes and Road Beers last night, I don't care. People liked Batman Forever back in the day, and I will still defend that movie. It's not as bad as people will try and make it out to be. They try and make it out to be an awful thing. And Val Kilmer was a hell of a Batman.
Yes, he was. And here's the thing: as a young person, I was a hater of the Michael Keaton movies originally because now I liked Batman Returns. I didn't have any problems with that, but I had problems with the original Batman because of the way they did the Joker and he killed his parents. And they killed the Joker at the end of the movie. Had a problem with all that. So while everybody's all just loving on Keaton, I'm like, okay, he's a stiff Batman. He's an okay Bruce Wayne, but it's like he's just stiff. He doesn't do anything. And you get Val Kilmer, you get a new suit. Val can turn his head. And in the opening scene, he's like doing some badass fighting and physical combat. Like, this is what I wanted to see. Thank you.
Right.
And, so we finally got that, but it took 3 movies to finally get there. And so Val was the one that brought it. Oh, there you go. V agrees with you about Val. Yeah. And the thing is, too, that Val was also a big Batman fan growing up. So this meant something to him, more so than Keaton was like, this is going to be probably a big popular movie or whatever else. But like Val was like it was a big deal for him to be in the suit.
Yeah.
So I think he got the assignment a lot better than anybody else that's been in there in the early days of those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but R.I.P. Val. You will be missed.
Of course, I appreciate him for Real Genius and
Top Secret,
Top Secret, 100%. Of course they know. Yeah, of course, we know him for Top Gun and definitely Tombstone and stuff like that. And I know you said you were talking about Smokes and Road, you hadn't seen Maverick. As a Top Gun hater, because I was like, screw Top Gun, give me Iron Eagle back in the day. I like Maverick. Maverick is an impressive movie because the photography for all the jet fighting is really good, but they actually dare tell a story. Yeah, and it's not just the Tom Cruise show. There's a lot of other good actors in the movie, and a lot of the younger actors, especially Miles Teller, who plays Goose's son. So there's some kind of good drama between he and Maverick as well. So, like I said, it's some good performances, and I was impressed with it. I almost would say I like Maverick better than the original because I think it's a better made film and not just like let's just.
I mean, it's not saying a lot to me to say that you liked Maverick better than the original because I didn't think the original was that good anyway either. But
well, basically, the original was just kind of like it was a soda commercial. It was like it was a commercial for Copper Tone tanning with the volleyball scene. It's it's a lot of underpinned homoeroticism. It's like, let's just call out what this movie is. It's like instead of like, oh it's like, no, it's a lot of bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so and yes, Val did not have the bat nipples. That is correct.
Yeah, not in Forever anyway.
Yeah, Clooney had the bat nipples.
Yeah.
Forever has a story arc. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, and definitely one movie I was going to talk about, but Batman Ultra beat me to it. Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang.
Oh, yeah. And again.
Yeah. Written and directed by Shane Black, who did like Lethal Weapon, The Last Boy Scout, stuff like that. And this was basically Robert Downey Jr.'s last movie before he got into Iron Man territory. So it was kind of a bit of a comeback movie for him, getting back into the good graces, a nice buddy comedy. But it's a cop buddy comedy where both the cops get to be funny.
Yeah.
So and Kilmer's like he plays the role of Gay Perry, and that's his name because he's Perry and he's gay, and everybody calls him Gay Perry.
Gay Perry, right? Yeah.
Oh my God, he was so good in that movie because he's almost kind of the straight man, but he gets to have some funny stuff too.
Yeah.
It's a great one, and of course, you can't forget Tombstone.
Oh I love Tombstone's one of my favorite movies of all time.
You mentioned The Doors, also a couple of
True Romance was another one too. That
yes, always like it, Clarence, always will.
Yeah.
I love it too. You and Bill were talking about that. Bill had no idea about it. It's like, what you were the same age as we are. Everybody's Tarantino crazy. That literally came out a year after Pulp Fiction.
I don't think Bill's that big of a Tarantino fan, though.
Well, I'm going to slap him around. There you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Val Kilmer documentary called Val. Oh, that's so good. Heartbreaker. Yes. Yeah. Very, very emotional movie. 100%.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a Val Kilmer fan, it's a great human story. But a couple other good Val movies that are worth checking out. A movie that Val Kilmer did with David Mamet, which apparently the making of the film was very laborious because David Mamet's kind of he's a hard driving director, but the product was good. It's a film called Spartan, where he basically is kind of a government agent. He's going after basically, I think, like either like a president's daughter that was kidnapped or some sort of political daughter that was kidnapped. But it's Spartan in the way he lives his life, the way he acts, as in like everything's very, there's no frills, everything's very clean, very sort of thing like that. But then also the film itself, like there's not a lot of like BS in the movie and not a lot of like overt action. It's very real kind of, adult action. So very cool film in that regard. Another one's called The Salton Sea, which
that one's really good. Yeah,
that's also worth checking out. Very kind of a modern day noir that literally takes place in the Salton Sea area of California, where it's like basically dry desert, lost town, and like this is a whole section of the country. But it's like it's like if a whole section of California was a ghost town. But there's people that still live and work in there, but the whole thing looks like a ghost town. But very, very cool flick. So good point, Bradley. Yes, we'll give some love to Val Kilmer.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for us for this week here. Finally. Oh, hang on. Oh, super weird Kilmer movie. Betwixt Now and Sunrise.
I have not heard of that one. Yeah,
I have not heard of that one either. There you go, Batman Ultra.
What was that weird movie with Val Kilmer where he was the blind guy that learned how to see? Or no, he had to have that surgery where he could see. And then, but like the world was all weird because he was used to being blind or something. It was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oh gosh, hang on. We're gonna hit the Google machine here.
Yeah,
and go into don't need pictures of Val Kilmer. I need to know his work stand. There we go. Okay, there we go. And we can't Willow. I can't remember if I got Willow.
Oh yeah, geez.
And Ghost in the Darkness. I love Ghost in the Darkness.
Oh yeah.
At First Sight. At First Sight.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. Him and Mia Sorvino is in there. So
right. Yes.
Oh, and one Val Kilmer movie we would definitely be remiss to not discuss because of the very storied production, but the remake of The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yes. Another movie where the documentary of the making of is more interesting than the movie itself.
Oh my God, that is such a good documentary. Yeah, thank you, V. Yeah, we both came in with about the same time there. So at first sight. Thank you, V. Yeah. Oh, and Batman Ultra said that Kilmer Betwixt Now and Sunrise, Francis Ford Coppola directed that one.
Oh.
Okay, well, we know it's going to be hoity-toity then. That's for sure.
Interesting, yeah.
late career Coppola is weird and hoity-toity. It's kind of like I'm going to do a David Lynch movie, but my pinky will be extended the entire time.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, now we're really gonna wrap things up here. All right,
Yeah.
and we're just having too much fun here. We're just gonna keep
Yeah.
topics there. So, and I'm hungry, and I'm gonna have dinner. And
I was gonna say, if you can see Moxley, he's doing the I gotta poop run. So
yes, yeah. It's like, shut up, George. I need to poop. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us once again. Bradley, Batman Ultra, of course, V. Great to see you guys in here.
Yes,
Always
thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah, always a pleasure hanging out, talking with you guys here. And definitely pass on the Fanatic Forum to your family and friends and even people you don't like, because this is the place for geeks, and we want you all to hang out and have a good time talking about whatever we're talking about this week. And, of course, we get off on tangents and everything else. So, But like I said, we will be off next week, but we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Otherwise, you all have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next time on the Fanatic Forum. TTFN.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a 1-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Truths, and overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.